Welcome back to I Pick Passion and Funny. This week, you guys, I'm so excited. We've got a special one. This week's guest is a comedian, writer, and actress whose voice is rooted in honesty, relatability, and real life. From stand up stages to writers' rooms to creating viral moments online, she's built a career telling the truth in a way that makes us laugh and reflect at the same time. Personally, I feel like she's been the friend in my head for a minute now, just off how real and specific her comedy is. Welcome to the show, Tyree Elaine. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey,
Hey.
Tyree, girl. Okay. All right. So I usually start the show off with an icebreaker. Passion or funny? Which
Mhm.
one? Which one you picking?
Passion.
Okay, girl. Well, pick a number 1 to 4. 5. 1 to 4.
2.
5. 1 to 5.
2.
You pick a number 1 to 5. I say 1 to 4.
I was like 2. 2.
Oh, you want to do 2 this time? Okay, 2. Okay. What season of life do you feel like you're in right now?
Oh, man. I'm in a very in a season of life that's requiring a lot of honesty and intention and a lot of love and grace and patience. And did I mention grace?
You did. Yeah,
'Cause
you
this is
did.
Yeah, so it's definitely a new season of life, but new in a way that I think is new for a lot of people. It's not like, oh, a new school. Everybody been going to
Mhm.
school for however many years. This is like new because it seems like nobody's ever done what we kind of sort of have to do, which is be honest about things at the very least.
Girl.
How we feel, truly putting names to it so that we can change it if we need to.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. It's funny you say honesty and intention because intentional, like you're in an intentional season. That's the
Mhm.
exact same season I'm in. Like I've been talking about that exact same thing, being more intentional. That's where I'm at right now. So it's so funny you
Yeah,
said that because that's exactly, I agree.
yeah.
Okay, so we can go ahead and get into the things. Where are you right now in life? Like, how are you feeling these days?
I'll be 40 at the end of this year, and
Mm-hmm.
I used to feel a way about it just because, I'm from the 1900s. I remember what 40 and them used to be. It used to mean brown, everything, and you're settled. That's where you gonna be
Mm-hmm.
until sweet relief of the grave. No, I'm kidding. Like, I just used to think that, 30, if
Yeah.
anything, like the start of where you're supposed to be settling down roots, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't see any of that by 30, and so now I'm 39, and it seems like it's not necessarily the opposite, but it definitely seems like in order to settle roots and make those types of choices, that
Mm-hmm.
there's some sense of awareness or acknowledgement of what that really means, what that looks like, what that feels
Mm-hmm.
like, what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And if I really want to make that type of commitment, and do I have the capacity, and do I have the
Yeah.
maturity, and do I have the wisdom, and do I have the support and the resources to actually, because what I'm talking about is like societal stuff, 30, 40,
Yeah.
house, marriage, car, kids, career, 401k, blah, 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 blah. And
Girl.
that's just not, it's one thing to have all of those, and it's wonderful. It's just when they're not the aligned spouse, the aligned house, the aligned career, the authentic interests, then it just doesn't seem sustainable. And so I guess I'm trying to get in alignment with who I really am so that I can make those types of choices from a more authentic place.
100%.
That was a lot.
Yes.
That
Like
was that was a lot. I feel like I was giving a talk
a
at
TED Talk?
not quite a TED talk. Maybe a talk to some girls in a nightclub bathroom. Now y'all gotta get y'all shit together. Y'all can't just be, I'm about to be 40 and y'all don't wanna be
Yeah, y'all
trying to
don't wanna
figure
be
shit out,
right? Like, I'm
making
telling
choices
you.
from fucked up, from trauma responses. It's not
Girl.
Not that
No, it's not. It's
yeah.
not, it's not. I'm with you on that because society tells you like, "Oh, we're supposed to be married by this, and we're supposed to have the kids, and we're supposed to have this, and if you don't have that,
Mhm.
then, oh, what then, like, oh, you what I'm supposed to okay, I was supposed to have all this stuff, I don't have it, so now what?"
Yeah.
And then they make you feel like it's almost like it's made to make you feel bad about who you're not, by a certain age. And I, like you, 37, I'll be 38 this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely thought by now that things would be different for me.
Mhm.
And I'm at this point, I'm like, honestly, I don't care. I've become more unapologetic about like, okay, I don't have it, and I'm not at this point, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's when it's meant, it'll happen for me, but I'm not gonna I choose to not let society and the societal norms define me and who I am
Yeah.
and where I am in my life. I choose not to. But
Yeah.
you know, but
Same.
they want you to feel bad though about your life.
It seems like that's a natural default. It almost seems like you have to be intentional about being unapologetic about that because there was this automatic sense of just I don't want to say immaturity on my part, but I felt like a late bloomer or I felt left behind or the last of my group to doing, everybody else is doing grown up adult things. And I'm specifically talking about the societal expectations, marriage,
Mhm.
and children, which are all deep commitments
Yeah.
that require responsibility from you. And
Oof.
when I think about where I was in my 20s and stuff, like the person that I was, that wasn't even really truly who I was. That was who I had to become
Mhm.
in order to escape my no, I'm kidding. In order to just deal with my environment
Yeah.
safely and to maintain relationships that were very, very rooted in proximity and
Yeah.
familiarity. So in order to maintain those, I had to become this person that I never really truly was. And so when I think
Mm.
about how much of a rush I was in to get married to this type of person, blah, 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 I would have made a commitment to this
Oof.
life, and sure, I might have gotten all the societal kudos and congratulations for doing all these things. But today, when I think about that version of myself, I would have been so unfulfilled and I probably would have felt regretful, probably even. And, or maybe that's just what I'm telling myself to feel better about not being married and having children yet. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe both.
Both can be true at the same time. It's okay.
Maybe both.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and honestly, girl, we could have a whole thing about that because I could go on and on about that and kids and the husband and all the things. We could just continue to go on about that, but I I've always questioned whether or not I even want to have kids or a child. At this point, the older I get, and that's a whole nother thing that society, you're supposed to reproduce. When are you gonna make me a grand? You got the pressures of when are you gonna make me a grandmother or this or that, and the maybe I don't even know if and like you. I often felt like a late bloomer too.
Hmm.
Like I kind of felt like, a lot of things that I just start to get my flow after I was kind of late doing that, like late to the party. Like, now I'm at a certain point in life and I feel like I've kind of allowed myself to be robbed of some of the years that like years that were important that I needed to kind of be building. I guess I was where I was supposed to be when I was supposed to be there, but things that I could have been doing different, I allowed myself to be robbed of time that I
Hmm.
can't now get back. And so that kind of made me feel as though like I'm a late bloomer, And so as time started to go on and now I'm looking up and I'm like, I'll be 38 in October. Like, wait a minute, girl. What like, are you still gonna have like this child? First of all, you gotta get the man. And to even you know what I'm saying? You gotta get
Hmm.
the man. The time and all the things has to be for even a child to come into play. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, and I've often questioned plenty of times, like, do I even want to be a mother? I believe if I was one, I would be an amazing mother, but I
Hmm.
still feel a little selfish. And I
Yeah.
feel and I'd be like, "Am I wrong I've often questioned myself, like, am I wrong to feel like that? But then I become, as I said, a little bit more unapologetic. Like, you know what? I don't really care if it's wrong, if it's right, who says what. If I don't think that I maybe am fit or want to be a mother, like, it is what it is. And time. I'm not going to be I don't want to be of a certain age. I know people having babies later in age now, and God bless them. And I love that for them. But I just don't know if that's what I want. Now,
That's
if
fair.
I met the right man and if he said, "Hey, I want to have a child," it would just be one at this point if it was one. But I'm like, honestly, I don't even know if I guess I would give him the child if he wanted it and if his circumstances were right.
Yeah. You
But
said it
I'd be
like
like,
a bottle of cologne. I guess I get it for him for Christmas. He been acting right. I have a coupon. Fuck it. We both.
something that I could just
I
take
guess he
back.
be
You know what I'm saying?
wondering.
Like, and then I could just take it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it ain't smell
That's
right,
what
or if he ain't
it's worth thinking about. I think we're the first ones because the older I get, one
okay.
day I was making it's so crazy. I was making food, a new recipe, Cajun
Mhm.
chicken Caesar salad, but with pasta.
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm playing." Like I felt like I was playing,
Mhm.
and the most random thought hit me. What if you had a baby? And I said, I was just having fun. Why would you
Why would
like
you do
where did that even come from? Like it was like that monster from Thinner whispered in my bitch, what if you had a baby? You wouldn't be able to put no rotini pasta in this shit. You would have to just, you know what I mean? And I'm
that?
like, I don't like it was like a fear-based thought and I didn't like it. So I waved it away. And then I was like, yeah, because I mean I could totally, like you said, I think I'd be a good mom. Shoot. Hand me that box of pasta and blah 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 blah. And then here we go. Because for real, the older you get, the more time you have to really think about having a child. When we
Yeah.
were teenagers and in our early 20s, we were just fucking and
Yeah.
getting pregnant. It was like that. But when you really have the time to think about what it actually means for your body, because after I waved that one thought away, I was like, whatever. That same monster came and said, did you know that the baby gotta come out of your pussy, bitch? And I said, "Okay, now I'm scared." 'Cause I don't know if I ever really sat and considered what that means. 'Cause
Yeah,
what?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or or they take an X-Acto not an X-Acto knife, I'm sorry, or they take a scalpel, which is pretty much
Right.
a bougie X-Acto knife. Probably
Huh?
costs X-Acto knife is $1.99. A scalpel is 40.
Right?
But they cut you and lift
Girl.
you open, move around some of your innards
Mm.
to pull out a person that's gonna tell you to kiss they ass under their breath because you
Okay.
want them to hand you the remote.
Child.
I don't know. Like now I have and all of that, like all of that in theory is a choice. You know what I mean? It's
It is?
just the time you have to think about it. And I made this comparison the other day. I said, imagine standing in a line for a roller coaster. And you like, yeah, I'm in this line and you young and you like, yeah, I'm a ride it and it's gonna be crazy. And then you turn 39. And you like, do I really want to get on this ride?
Mm.
You know,
Mm-mm.
bitches be
Nah.
dying on this ride,
Okay. Okay.
you know.
Flips and all kind of upside down and all kinds of
That's
yeah,
a
I think
really
I'm
important,
good.
it's worth like when you said, I don't know, is it wrong? It's like it doesn't matter if a feeling is right or wrong. It doesn't change the feeling if you were cold.
No. Yeah, yeah. But I had to battle with that. I had to battle with that. Like, should I feel like I want to have a baby? Like, should I really be like, oh, like some women, they just want to have a baby, like so
Mhm.
bad. And I don't know where that comes from, or if that's just, I mean, I don't know. But some women, maybe they just want to feel loved and unconditionally in that way. And maybe that came from maybe that is some type of trauma response.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's
But
that's why it's worth talking about.
yeah, And I'm just like, I don't wanna, like, I'm good. I think I'm okay. I think I'm all right if I don't need I never felt the desire for that. Like, I've never been like, I just want a baby so bad. But anyway, but the husband, yes. When I do want the life partner. I do
Same.
want that. But when he comes, whenever he comes and we find each other and.
Yeah, I wanna husband we could dress alike and go on the cruises and play shuffleboard.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the cruises, Shana. See, I've never been a cruise girl. I don't like them cruise ships.
I went on one cruise back when I was a young adult ministries girly back in my early 20s, and I was like my favorite part of the
Oh,
cruise, and I had a big back spirit. God has delivered me. But the food, that's the best part of a cruise. All inclusive because you wake up 2:30 in the morning. I want some pizza. You want some chicken
yeah.
strips. You pasta. You want it's open like 24/7
Yeah. I
based
heard
on,
that.
and it's
I've heard
alcohol
that.
and all it's
You know what I don't like about the cruises? I'm gonna be honest. I'm a low key germaphobe. Anybody that knows me knows I'm kind of germaphobe ish. And them cruises are like an incubator of germs. It seems like everybody that be going on them cruise ships, you come back with or got something while you're there, or they just seem like it be germs. It be really full of germs, and I don't know if I like that. You
probably.
know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. That's
because
what
I
scares
almost
me the most.
yeah, because 'cause I'm like, I went one time and they got me with that
You
food.
got sick. Oh, you
No,
ain't get sick though? Well, good. Okay.
no, but what you described, because you were like, it seems like because it's all like self-contained, just moving
Yeah.
around the place. I'm like, yeah, that's that's a fair assumption. I guess I just was so enamored with that.
With the
It
food?
it was the choices. That was my first time
Yes.
trying calamari and duck
Ooh,
and all types of
love
other
calamari.
delicacies. I
I
would have
love
never.
calamari. That's my
Yeah,
favorite, girl.
yeah, I would have never ordered
Mm,
calamari from a restaurant,
mm,
but it was free, so
mm,
it gave me an opportunity to, like, try different foods, like, that's where I
mm.
found out that's where I discovered who does that? I discovered this. No, that's where I discovered, that duck was greasy,
Oh, I
and I
never
mean,
had duck before. I've never had
it's
duck.
beyond it's the type of greasy where it's like, "Oh, this is greasier than chicken," but I would have never.
Mm.
Yeah, and I had escargot, and
Oh,
that's where I discovered that was my impression of Christopher Columbus. I discovered some shit that everybody
yeah,
already
I
knew.
was wondering. I was like, wait, I think I'm supposed to know who that is.
That was a lot of people. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. I got the glasses on. I'm so non-threatening. So, escargot, that's snails, right? Essentially.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I
Yeah.
was
I
like,
never
"Imma
had that.
try one."
I never had it.
I wasn't a fan, so that's where I learned that
Mm-mm.
I wasn't a fan of escargot, but that sauce
Mm-mm.
was good. So,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, and that's my last of my spiel, my push for you to go on a cruise just to try the food. Maybe you'll go on a standing one, like just a stand up for dinner.
We'll see. I like to just fly to where I want to go. You know
I
what I'm
get
saying?
I
I
get
just
it.
be like, just take me to the. If I can't fly there or drive there or train or I don't know about the
Mhm.
cruise. I might give it a try. I mean, I might one day. I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see. Maybe a
just for
3 day. I don't want to be on there for no whole. Maybe something quick. I don't know if I want to be on
yeah.
there a whole week or something.
Oh, yeah, a
You know?
3 day is a good, I'd imagine, intro just to see.
Yeah. Dip my
Yeah,
toe in a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
just to
I
see.
like that. So this was basically a long icebreaker. We just basically went and like that took a
Was it
question. We didn't.
icebreaker?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't an icebreaker, but it seemed like we didn't veer off, girl. I don't even know what question. We were
No,
still on the
yeah.
first question.
No, yeah, cause it was worth talking about. She was like, I just thought about it, and it's like, yeah, cause some women have babies, and they're like, "I don't know, I just feel like I should have a baby." You should think about why you're bringing a person into this world. That
Absolutely.
like, I was like, "That's a really, really," like, I appreciate that
Yeah.
type of talk because,
Yeah.
we're people, like, that's how we know for sure people get here. Everybody else has their theory,
Absolutely.
but
And
one
everybody don't
thing
need to be no mama. Everybody ain't meant to
everybody.
be nobody's mama.
Yeah, yeah,
I saw that.
and
Let me tell you. Let me tell you how I know what I know. Okay. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I pissed me off yesterday, right? I was at the
mhm,
gas station, right? I went to the gas station just yesterday. And
mhm.
I was sitting there, minding my business, you know what I'm saying? And pumping my gas. And this girl Well, actually, I hadn't even got out the car yet. I'm sorry. I hadn't even got out the car yet. I was sitting in the car, getting my stuff together, getting my card out, my wallet, and all the things. Boom, boom, boom. And I hear this girl. I see her first, right? Typical, I don't want to
Mhm.
be stereotypical, but she was typical what you would expect, right? And her child is in the back seat of the car. Little boy, he must have got out of his car seat, or I don't know, she must have had him buckled in and he must have either gotten out or somehow something. What is your ass, your black ass doing out of your seat? And she on the phone with a girlfriend, must be one of her friends or something. So he was interrupting her, obviously. And she didn't want to be a mother because she was too busy on the phone with a friend or somebody that you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So he
Yeah.
was bothering her, but that's her child, but he was bothering her. And so
Yeah.
what's your ass doing? Your black ass doing? And I was just sitting there again, minding my black ass business. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why is she in my mind? I'm like, see, that's why people don't need to be mothers.
Yeah.
Because why are you? I would never, I can't imagine talking to my child like that. And you wonder why they grow up in society the way that they do.
Yeah.
You wonder
Yeah.
why the abuse and all the things. You wonder why that's a little boy and you talking to your son like that.
Yeah, and what I hear, and I know this is, like, really ironic of somebody with no kids to say, but I'm saying it from a place of I'm
Oh,
estranged from my
other
mother
angle.
because
Mhm.
I don't know how to put this, but essentially she chose a man who
Mhm.
attempted to harm me over me and blamed me for
Mm.
his end. I think a lot and basically the rest of my specifically, like, the women or the females in the group, they took her side, kinda citing the reason of, "Well, you don't understand because you don't have children. You don't understand
Mm.
because 'cause you're not raising children by yourself," and I'm thinking, "What does that have to do with this choice that she made that you guys all agree is wrong?" But why are you all making it seem like it's more important to acknowledge this title as opposed to
Yeah.
acknowledging that it's not functioning as this title? Like, because, that's your mother, and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, function of a mother is not this. Why
Yes.
why are you guys holding me more accountable to respecting this title than you guys are holding her accountable to maintaining the function of that title that she chose? That's why when you were talking about, oh, I took the time to really like think about being a mother because some women, they do exactly that. They'll have babies, for a man to love them or for the child to love them. My mother has told me
Right.
plenty of times how much she wanted a boy. She told me, yeah, if you
Mhm.
were a boy and your name was going to be this. And it would have been a cute little name,
Wow.
but I'm not a boy. Like, you're making it seem like I
Right.
would better if I was a boy, or you probably for sure would have loved me more if I was a boy, but I don't want to
Mm.
feel inadequate. So
Right.
I had to accept that because children will internalize their parents' inadequacies as their own.
Right.
And it starts with, "Oh, I have a baby for somebody to love me." Like, you've already given this child a responsibility, without even consciously realizing it. And that's why I feel like specifically women who, like you said, were yelling at their kid,
Yeah.
sometimes a response like that is, "Well, what about the daddy?" And it's like, yo, like, you can't mistreat your children and excuse
Mm-mm.
it because you are mad at their father. That's wrong. You wouldn't want
Right.
anybody and I don't have to have children to make that, because that's how I was treated. Like, I'm not my
Mhm.
I know my father mistreated my mother terribly, and I
Right.
empathize with her because that behavior is trash universally.
Right.
At the same time,
Absolutely.
I didn't do it. So when because I see that same type of thing too sometimes, whether on the internet, whether it's real or not or whatever, a lot of there's a whole lot of support for that behavior because motherhood is hard. And it's like, well, maybe
Yeah.
if we thought about it a little bit more before just entering into it, haphazardly, like, these are people. I went to PetSmart
Yes.
and was looking at some tortoises, and they was like, "Well, you gotta make sure that they this and that." I said, "You know what? Cause you know what I'm saying? Cause no, cause not yet." But now I know. It's like, okay, so if I wanted to get a turtle, well, a tortoise, cause
Yeah.
hey, a turtle is fast, and I don't need
Yeah.
to be putting a turtle on no leash. Even though my child is probably gonna be a leash child, cause I'm gonna be an old mama.
Right,
if I go that route.
right.
My children's probably gonna be
Yeah,
in the leash. I'm not gonna be able to
yeah,
run.
yeah.
So
You could
so
be one of those leash.
yeah, my
I can
children
see
probably
you
be
with the actual, you talking about the actual leash.
well, the backpack
Um,
leash.
yeah, Randy.
Yeah, the harness, I guess, because I'm not going to be able to chase them, when they're
That is
2 and we're out in public,
hilarious.
and the man at PetSmart was like, "Yeah, I think you're gonna want a tortoise because they're slower, you know, a turtle, you gotta be quick." I said, "Yeah, nah, nah. We want the where are you? Right here? Okay, let me back." And just start
Oh
from
my
there.
god.
Mothering is a verb, you know what I mean? Like,
Girl.
I had to accept that I was undermothered, which was why I was over functioning. I was
Mhm.
over functioning, hoping that
Yeah.
if I overfunction for others, they would eventually in return mother me. I feel like,
Mm.
yeah, from Angela Bassett from Waiting to Exhale when she said, I thought if I gave him everything.
Yeah.
I'm such a millennial. I thought if I gave him
Right.
everything he needed, free give me everything I needed. And I remember,
Mm.
seeing that part in the movie and just thinking, "Oh, Angela Bassett." But when you think about that feeling of
Yes.
giving, of overfunctioning, people pleasing,
Yes.
overperforming for others in hopes that they will meet an emotional need without even talking to them about it. Yeah,
Girl.
yeah,
It's
and
real.
it's
It's so
real.
real.
And, yeah, yeah, I could go on and on in
Mm.
that direction simply
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
talking about relationships with other adults, like, so when you make that decision with somebody who never asked to be here, it's, like, doubly, you kn
Mm. Woo-wee. Okay, girl. Yeah. Like, yeah, we could go on. I was just like, yes, I'm with you. Like, we could go on and on about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, girl, no. That's a real subject. People do need to talk about that more because okay. All right, so take me back. What did
Uh-huh.
young Tyree think of her life and what did she think it was gonna look like?
So, okay, when I was let me see, what was, like, prime child me? Probably, like, 5. And I wanted to be a veterinarian because I was really, really into animals. And and I think my mom told me I don't think she was trying to be a hater because it was real. 'Cause she
Oh.
said, "I don't think that's what you wanna do because all you're gonna be dealing with is sick animals that are dying and
Mm.
dead," and, because when I think back, I was like, "Damn, I was only, like, 5 or 6." Like, did she have
Mhm.
to tell me that? But that's when I was like, "Oh, no. Oh, I don't. I just wanna play with the animals." Like, I like
Yeah.
living healthy animals around me. So I thought I was going to be a hairdresser, like, immediately after
Okay.
that. So I used to play
Uh.
shop with the Barbies. I thought I would be definitely, married with children by now. I thought I would
Mhm.
be like Harriet Winslow from Family Matters. I did. I thought
Harriet Winslow, that's very specific.
it is, 'cause
Harriet Winslow.
like, maybe, like, between Harriet Winslow and Aunt Viv, like, I'm a quintessential millennial, like, Aunt Viv and Gina Waters and Pamela James and Blatt like, all these people raised me. Claire
Uh-huh.
Huxtable, like, they
Yeah, I get
were
it. I get
influential.
that. Yeah.
That's who I thought I was gonna be like when I got
Wow.
older. Moesha, for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's funny. I'm thinking about as I'm listening to you, and I'm like, the one person that I honestly thought I was gonna be like, and who living single. I was a living single girl.
My g
And so it was for me. It was Khadijah James.
yes.
I don't know why,
Mhm.
but Khadijah, she was a journalist, and I was heavy into magazines, and that's why I did become a journalist. I did that for a while, writing for other publications and stuff like that. And I wanted to be Khadijah when I was a kid. Like Khadijah was who inspired me. Like that man, TV, yeah, TV definitely raised us in that era. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, we needed that. We
we
had to
did.
like TV was that was definitely like essential to us.
I thank God
And
for
it's
it.
yeah.
Whole
Yeah.
conversation about girlfriends, which is
Yeah.
it's the same type of vibe as living single, and then I was talking about soul food when
Mhm.
they probably thought I was like, "Are they paying you?" Like, "No, it's just that good." Soul food is
Yes.
rated because it's cable and not
Yes.
everybody had cable. back then,
Yeah.
and Showtime cable, which back then, baby, that
Mhm.
you got monies if you got
Yeah,
show
you got right.
back
Right.
then. So, I was, yeah, just talking about those
Mm.
types of people who we used to look up to, and
Yes.
we can still remember why we looked up to them. So, yeah,
Yes.
I still have a shot at becoming, I'm still working on becoming, the version of myself because I remember who I wanted to be and who I wanted to
Uh-huh.
be like. And it was
Uh-huh.
just based off of admiration, relatively superficial things. And I appreciate those things, but now I
Uh-huh.
have opportunity to be a little bit
Yeah.
more real, grounded, foundational.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. You know, it's funny you make me think about I was saying, and I read this not long ago about that millennials, we are the one generation more than any other generation that craves nostalgia the most. Like let me tell you, I live in that place and it's a happy place for me.
Yeah.
Like I just want to stay there and I don't need to come out. Just take me back to a memory and a time and a moment or like music or TV or a movie or something that made me feel something and
Yeah.
take me away from my reality now, girl.
Yeah. Cause
I
I remember
yeah.
I remember thinking it was gonna get better. Like, when I was in high school, I graduated '04, and I
Mhm.
remember, like, '01 was cool because it's like I was newly teened,
Mhm.
new teenager, and,
Mhm.
I was like, "Okay," and then 10th grade, like, things just kept getting better and better all over the music, the movies, and then I got a car, and then my, class I was taking summer school classes, so by the time I got to be an upperclassman, I didn't have to be on campus all day. So shit was
Mhm.
good. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just remember thinking, vividly thinking, especially in 12th grade, it can only get better from here. Life. The music, the movies, the TV shows, the men, the friends, the life, the gas prices. I remember $22 is what it was to fill up my car when I was 16 years old.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm like, things are when I was, a younger teenager, and then I got older and older, it was getting better. And then
Okay.
somebody fell asleep at the switch. I don't
Turn
know.
turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Please somebody turn it off. Tell me this is all a damn joke.
We gotta go back and look at the security footage and figure out what happened so we can, I don't know what happened, but I remember the time.
Girl.
Yeah, I'm in love with nostalgia. Pepper Ann. Oh, if I could have my own Pepper Ann, a black Pepper Ann, I would
Okay.
love
Yes. That I love that.
Pepperisha.
Pepper in, okay, anyway. Yes. Okay, so you started stand up on a dare.
I
What
did.
made you stay? What made you stay after that dare?
Happened to have coincidentally been decent my first time.
Uh,
It was like, "Oh, let me try this again." And then, it was like a toxic relationship. It really was. It was like,
mm.
"Go kiss that boy," and then you kiss him, and then you keep kissing him for however many years I was doing stand-up, and then you realize, "I never even got to know that this nigga can't read. We just been fucking for 12 years." That was really funny. But that's how I felt about stand-up, like, when I got into it, initially, I was 21 years old and incredibly stupid. I mean, I was at the height of my career being
Oh
stupid.
my goodness.
Oh my good
Uh-huh.
So,
Mm.
not that continuing to do stand-up was stupid, but I was just, I think maybe driven by, I think I was more motivated by not having to look within myself and just perform and get all these accolades. Like, it was, as long as I'm doing this, I don't have to do this.
Mhm.
And yeah, eventually, you can only run from that type of stuff for so long before it catches up with
Girl. Exactly. What did stand up give you at that time in your life? Like what did it give you?
it. Gave me an outlet to, I've always
Mm.
been a performer, if you will. Like, I've always
Mm.
appreciated live performances, even though I'm from LA, and live
Mm.
performances, West Coast or in LA specifically, are not as, in my opinion, they're not as appreciated as they are other places, live
Agreed.
performance specifically. But my mother put me in, and I always appreciate her for this, she put me in this acting conservatory for children. It was originally called All God's Children with Wendy Raquel Robinson as one of the instructors, and she was so cool. I will always love me some Miss Wendy. Why, I jumbled over them words, but there were, other teachers there that taught dance and voice and acting, and we wrote our own stuff, and I went there for 2 summers. They changed the name, I believe, to Amazing Grace Conservatory after.
Oh,
I saw the sh I my mom took me to a show, and I knew right away, and I was only 7 years old, 7 or 8 years old, so I did
aw.
this program, and, like, oh my god, don't even get me started. It was kids there from all that. It was kids
Cool.
there and, booking commercials and booking,
Mhm.
TV shows and stuff, and I was so excited to be there and express myself. I've always loved doing that, so stand up, even though it wasn't that, because 'cause I'm not on stage singing and dancing and stuff, it was still
Yeah.
an opportunity to just express myself, and I've always been silly, you know?
Yeah, naturally. You just have it naturally. It's a natural thing for you. You don't even have to
Yeah,
try. Yeah. Okay, so you stepped away from stand-up. What
I
led to
did.
that decision?
You know, I stopped in 2021 after
Mhm,
quarantine, and
mhm,
those types of rooms, I mean, obviously, like, I know now how to be funny or whatever on Zoom and on the internet now, but back then it was really weird for me because you
mhm,
couldn't get immediate it wasn't like live entertainment. I had gotten used to live entertainment, and I wasn't turned off by it, but I wasn't
mhm,
turned on enough by it to be intentional about getting booked for those types of shows, so I just wasn't really doing it by default because of
mm,
quarantine. But if I'm being honest, right before quarantine, I had done Montreal Just for Laughs, New Faces, and I
mm.
was really, really, really nervous, and I remember also showcasing for Saturday Night Live that same year, and I
Wow.
thought in Montreal, I couldn't get any more nervous, and that
Mhm.
wasn't the case because I couldn't even open a bottle of water, my hands was shaking so bad after
Oh,
show,
wow.
and I remember thinking, "I don't know how much longer I can do this." So I had already had that but I'm like, "But I'm not gonna say no to Saturday Night Live, like,
Of
are you
course
kidding me?
not.
Like, Imma
No.
do it and Imma just be shaking." I did, like, some nerve-wracking rooms. I did Apollo, so there's 2 rooms at Apollo. I don't know if that's the case now, but at the time, there was a smaller, more personal room
Mhm.
at Apollo. I love that. That was just like a regular show where the people came out, and I also did Showtime at the Apollo on Fox.
Okay.
Again, nerve-wracking, like, just being tired, and I did it for my 31st birthday. It happened to have fallen, like, the tape date
Oh,
on my
wow.
and I remember one of the producers was like, "You should tell the crowd that it's your birthday." I said, "Bitch, they don't give a fuck." And then I realized, oh my god, because I didn't know who that was. It's like a younger like a bitch my age. You trying to give me and then I saw her thing. I saw her little, producer pass, and I was like,
Oh.
I hope she thinks, I'm a scary black and just leaves me the fuck alone. Cause I meant that, like, I'm already,
You already nervous in your head. Okay, yep.
yes. I had done those types of rooms, like, up into
Mhm.
2019, so by the time,
Mhm.
the top of 2020 came, I was like, "I could use this break," and then, I went through the situation with my relatives, my mother and my relatives with no contact, and I didn't really have the support that I thought I was gonna have because they all pretty
Mhm.
much aside. They all have children, I don't, so that was, like, the
Mm.
impasse, and, yeah, I excuse me, I felt like it would make more sense for me to process that pain
Mhm.
privately than like that type of pain than to try to, do the therapy thing on stage, like, especially specifically talking about that
Right.
because don't nobody care.
Mm.
And
Girl.
I don't mean to laugh, but I can now because I remember being so sad, like nobody
Mhm.
cares, empathy and all this stuff. 7 years later, when this stuff is going on, globally and nobody cares, I'm like, "Oh, who cares? It wasn't personal." Meh.
It wasn't personal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I
So
love
I
it. I
was
love it.
like, let me not talk let me handle this privately in a wise way and talk about
Yeah.
it as other things, that's not,
Yeah.
what defines me. It was just something that I experienced.
Absolutely. So what is your relationship with stand up today?
You know what it's like? It's like a husband who got a stand up is like a husband who got addicted to meth about 10 years into our marriage. And I love him. I do. I love him a lot, but he got to get clean. And
Okay.
I'm kidding. My relationship with stand up is honestly, honestly, I started when I was 21. I'm 39 now. I had stopped for 4 years because a life event happened. Like, even though my relatives are not deceased,
Mhm.
the version of me that they raised kind of sort of is. I hate to be so Scorpio and dark about that, but like you can't lose that many primal relationships without it affecting you on a self identification level, because it's like I don't even
Absolutely.
identify with certain aspects of ways that I was raised, and a lot is still there, of course, and I'm working on it, on what's
Mhm.
healthy and what needs to be worked on. But like stand up specifically is one of those things that I respect too much as an art form
Mm.
to do it and know that I am doing it to distract myself from things that I need to really be focused on. And I also
Mhm.
don't ever want to be up there to try and force people to see things from my perspective. Like
Mm.
always focus on, the fact that, cause like, I don't know if I ever learned how to accept when somebody judges, or criticizes when you have an
Right.
actual point in your material versus just joke, joke, joke. Like when you have a perspective, a point of view, and the more time you do stand up, the less it becomes about jokes and the more it becomes about voice and point
Right.
of view and more specifics and your story and bringing them into your world. And there are some people, especially now, who are just argumentative, and I was
Mhm.
never prepared for that. And now that I'm like looking, I'm just like, I kind of have to strengthen myself up in certain areas. But I would like to try it again, maybe
Yeah.
sometime. And I tried it a couple of times at the end of last year, and it was a bust. When I say it was worse every single time. It just got increasingly worse and worse and worse to the point where I was like, okay, okay, I'm throwing the
Why do
towel.
you think why do you think that was? Do you think it was a you thing? Like you weren't were you trying to be like instead of stepping into who you are now were
Well, I did brand new material, I think, but I think if I had
okay.
all old material, it would have been
Oh,
good for the crowd, but I would have felt like, unfulfilled. Like I wanted to talk
okay.
about what I wanted to talk about, but what I wanted to talk about was very taboo and
Okay.
very and I'm glad I tried it because now I know, okay, it's too sensitive for everybody.
Right.
Nobody wants to look. It's like, that's cool. I get it. And that's why, because I was like, let me try it here. Okay, let me try it there. Okay, let me try it there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me not try it what I learned then. So I'll try it again in a different way and in a different environment, because it could
Mhm.
hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
It was a community that I was a part of for many, many years, and then I wasn't for, some years, and then, reintroducing myself into, this environment and not really feeling, like it's like,
Like you
okay,
were received?
you said what now?
To not feel received? You didn't feel
Yeah.
received?
Not feel received as I did before, but it's like, why
Okay.
would it? Like, things have changed, things are
Yeah.
different. It was more so like a sadness that I needed to accept just as a part of life, like, well,
Yeah.
version of yourself is over, so it makes sense to be sad.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so aside from stand up,
Mhm.
you have been writing for TV and working behind the scenes. How has that experience changed you creatively?
Just the writing, it made me a far more lazy performer because everything goes on in your head.
Yeah.
And when you're writing, you ain't got to have no pants on, and you could do that shit at 2 in the morning, depending on what type of, project it is. And so when you have all of that liberty, it feels like the energy that I would have used to shower, comb my hair, I can use for the actual I'm kidding. I shower and I comb my hair. But, there's
If you don't, that's your business. That's your business.
no, but there was just times where I could see the difference in certain material that is just born out of creativity versus
Mhm.
you have to depend on me to perform. And I'm not really can be animated, but I'm not as animated as especially as I'm getting older. Like I'm
Mhm.
slow these days. And if I feel myself like, rushing, like I'm very
Yeah.
aware why
Yeah.
and you calm myself down. But genuinely think that it made me more creative because you just have
Mhm.
like this world
Mhm.
and you can write things that are going to get produced. I haven't really been able to be a deep part of any like production wise
Mhm.
episodes that I've written myself because they've been in different locations than
Right.
what I've written, but what I have seen, it's like, wow, you get to go from, thought to thing, like from your mind to the
Yeah.
screen. With
Yeah.
standard, it's a little bit more complex. It's not worse or better, but because that's all I was doing was writing, by the time
Mhm.
it got back to try to press that performer button, my body was like, "Bitch, why did you bring us here? Why am I dressed? What the fuck is this? Hey, oh, shoes? Bitch, why you got me out here?" And then
Oh,
why is somebody calling my name coming to the stage? What did you do? It's like, we're gonna see
man.
it perform. Why? We've been in the bed for 4 years straight.
Love that.
Right?
Yes.
So, you
That's what I'm
know,
talking about.
writing kinda, uh,
Yeah.
atrophied my performance muscle. It strengthened
Mm.
my creativity muscle because that's all I was doing, like, at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of your writing and your creating things, which you kind of left us on a cliffhanger with Dirty Thirties. So we do need to know if it was a cliffhanger. We need to know about the rest. So okay. So let me. It was the cliffhanger to me. Okay. So
Okay.
so women over 30, you got your women over 30, over series because you got the
Yeah.
20s, the 30s, the 40s. And then Dirty Thirties that is so specific but so relatable. So how do you tap into that voice? So and how do you realize how seen that you make people feel through your content?
Oh my goodness. My heart went like this. Like literally when you said that, no, I didn't. I thought like when I was going through it, I felt like I
Uh,
gotta be the only stupid bitch in the world moving through like I wasted 10 years, like I
yeah.
didn't think until I started reading the comments, like specifically on Facebook. And those
Mhm.
Facebook comments were like 7 years, try 12 years, try the and I'm like, "Bitches, a place to be embraced." But yeah, it felt like a levity about the situation because it was difficult when I was going through it, I didn't know how to navigate
Yes.
that type of thing,
Yeah.
but it definitely was a fun thing to do specifically with the women over be like, that was just,
Mhm.
something to
Mhm.
do. I have quit stand-up more than one time. Like, we are very toxic, stand-up and I. And, I done called the police on this nigga, and he done came
Oh.
back that same night talking about where the ranch dressing. Okay, so so the women over 30 be like,
Oh my god.
that actually came from one of my moments not doing
Mm.
stand-up. You know,
Mhm.
uh, this most recent time was the longest time because I was like, I mean business. I was what the kids say, standing on business. But
Yeah.
that was like maybe I was not doing it for a few months or something, but I still wanted to express myself. And so
Mhm.
I had just learned how to use iMovie. iMovie had damn near just dropped. It was $4.99 and I was playing around with it. And that's how I got the women over 30 and 20 and stuff be like. Then I remember I got Final Draft, and I learned how
Uh-huh.
to use Final Draft, and something told me, like, "Why don't you, take one of the videos that you made, like, probably the one that's, closest to your age, and
Right.
expand," because it was, like, these, like, random ass characters in each of
Mhm.
the videos, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll take this one and just expand on it 10 pages," you know,
Mhm.
cute,
No
and then
pressure.
uploaded
Mhm.
it, and that was where it was just supposed to stop, but then people was like, "So what else happened?" So I'm like, y'all like this?
Yeah.
Well, so let's write some more. So I wrote a few more episodes. I don't think it ended on a cliffhanger. I wrote a bonus episode. Where did you leave off?
Or maybe I did. I see the bonus. I thought I left off where I remember leaving off at the door when he came to the door
Okay, so you didn't
at
see
the
what
end.
happened. at the very, very end?
No, I don't maybe I didn't.
Okay, yeah, it's a because it was a cliffhanger and people were saying like, "Oh, I can't wait to see the next season." I said, "Oh,
Yeah,
season," because I shot that in my house, like in my
right.
one-bedroom apartment, and I will never do no shit like that again in my life. But I'm glad I did it. So now I
Yeah,
know not to ever do no
yeah,
shit like that again in my life.
yeah.
But I did one extra episode just so that it wouldn't end on a cliffhanger.
So I don't know if I saw that one then.
So you don't know how the girl me, the girl, you don't know how the girl
The girl,
you know how sh like, what happens to her at the end
no.
or what's implied? Okay, yeah, there's one episode left. It's episode 7, like, it's 7 episodes total. 'Cause I was like, "Cliffhanger? I did that
Okay.
episode."
What I am? I gotta okay, so then I gotta I must have I missed one. Okay, all right. I gotta go back.
Yeah, when people was like, "Next season," I was
I
like,
gotta go back. How did I miss that though? Damn, that's crazy.
You
Okay,
know,
well,
I think
what?
because it stopped at a cliffhanger and then months went by before I did the last episode, and
Okay.
not really with the other ones, but
Okay.
it's finished.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go back and watch it because I have to. I was like, wait, so where's the and I mean, but I do feel so you're pretty much you're done with that. Like you don't think that there's more continuation. You don't think there's more to do there, or
Um,
you
it
or dirty 40s.
I think we need to, call it Fabuloso 40s. The, 30s was wordy enough. We need to get
They was
right.
okay. So what really okay, fabulous. Okay, so what could go with 40s? Dirty 30s. What rhyme with what goes with 40s? You know, something 40s. What they say about the 40s? Unapologetic.
401k.
I know people be unapologetic in their 40s.
For me,
Zero fucks 40s. Zero fucks. I heard that. I heard that. You start caring less in your 40s.
it's it's like deeper because zero fuck sounds like something a bartender girl will wear on her shirt. I give zero fucks, and it's like, nah, it's deeper than that when you're 40. Like it's deeper than that because like you genuinely choice to give a
Yeah.
fuck, stupid shit that you've been
Yeah.
practicing giving a fuck about all your life, and then suddenly there's another alternative. You know,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
like do you wanna
That's
try
real.
and it's like, you wanna try not giving a fuck? I know we've given a fuck all these years. You wanna maybe try, you know,
Girl, I
at
spent too much time giving a fuck, and the older I get, I be like, I don't even care.
yeah,
The older
don't
I
give a
get, I be yeah.
yeah, I like that. Don't give a fuck 40s or zero fucks 40s. Yeah, zero fucks.
Mhm.
I've seen too many coyote ugly ass
Yeah.
when zero fucks. Like it's coffee or whatever. It's yeah, it's certain things I have to be intentional
Yeah.
about giving my energy to,
Yeah.
especially because this is middle age technically. If we live to be 80,
Yes.
and
That
this
is
is
middle age now. It is. Yeah.
we have the we have the power to make choices about who we are, what we want to do
Mhm.
versus, at the beginning of our lives where we didn't really have this type of, space to make those choices. So,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I really do. I don't know if I'm done. I mean, I don't know what's to happen with that. I wrote it, I did it, I
Right.
said, it was my very first sample and people still like it. Like it still be getting
Yeah.
surprised. I have other samples and they're like, "We read Dirty Thirties." And I'm like, "That's my baby. That's my old."
Yeah.
And so, I mean, a part of me is like, don't fix it, if it ain't broke,
If it ain't
you
broke,
know?
don't fix it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can
No, that's
tell
real.
tell another type of story. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I love it though. No, it definitely resonates for sure. And I think it always will because I think it's something that's timeless. Like there's always going to be, even if we've gotten older, there'll always be another 30s. There'll always be somebody else that's 30 that's living life and figuring it out. And
yeah,
so it will always resonate with them. You know what I mean? It'll find its way to somebody. That's
I
what I
love
think.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. So okay, so you've taken breaks from social media at
Yeah.
times as stand up same. What has your relationship with it been like with social media
It's
lately?
just as toxic as stand-up, and I think, 'cause it's weird. It's like, why are there robots? What the like, why is there an algorithm? Why am I following people that I never truly like, why? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Tell me that it's human nature. I don't know.
Why tell
Why?
me?
Like, and also because I remember when it first came out. Like, I remember when
Yeah.
Insta specifically first came out. So I guess that's like our nostalgia for the original IG because
Yep.
now it has become a cesspool. I mean, I don't even be on Facebook. Like I haven't been on Facebook in forever. Things that I post to IG, I think automatically share to
Yeah.
Facebook. I
That's how
don't
mine is too. That's how
yeah.
mine is too. I have it set up like that because well, I have my personal
Mhm.
Facebook and then I have my that I barely be on. I don't do Facebook either.
Yeah.
Every now and again I get on there and I be like, well, I don't care because I don't care about everybody. I mean, every now and again if I feel like strolling, I look and say, oh, that person doing, but it's too much to keep up with, and I don't really care about everybody business like that. You
Yeah,
know?
and it's everybody. It's like a storyline here, a storyline there, and I just remember when it wasn't like that. I
Yeah,
remember
everybody and their mama is on Facebook now, literally. Remember when you needed an email address, for a college email address to
yes.
get on Facebook?
Mhm. I sure do.
Now, yeah, everybody and their mama. And I didn't have
Everybody
my Facebook since then. Back then, I remember. Yeah.
I think when everybody and their mama got on and then they put the
Yeah.
marketplace and then they put the ads, and even though I benefited from, all of the platforms being monetized, I think
Yeah.
like, that's why I said I preface it by saying I understand I benefited from those platforms being monetized. At the same time, I think that added to this
Mhm.
culture of just
Yeah.
I don't even know what's real, I don't know if
You don't.
a proposal video is real or if they're just
Yeah.
doing it for, the gram or doing it for content or, I have
Mhm.
if it's for work, then it's like, "Oh, yeah, we're just cussing each other out in public for work," you know?
Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
see and it's like, "Well, I don't even wanna see that." So, not interested, but I'll still kind
Mhm.
of see that. That's the part that and then when you take breaks and you come back, it feels like your algorithm is, like, overgrown because you
Yeah.
ain't been there to, like, pull
Yeah.
the out and
Like, "Oh,
stuff.
well, dang, when did you get this tall? Like, how did you I didn't even notice.
When
I
did
done
you
missed all this time."
when did you get subscribers? I remember
Right.
when you was born. When
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah. I get it. I get
excuse me,
it.
it's a little disheartening, I gotta be honest. It's the
Mhm.
same feeling
Yeah.
as nostalgia just because I remember what it was like when it first came out, and it's not that now. And every
Yeah.
time break, I think I subconsciously hope that when I come back, it'll be better. And,
Mhm. It don't be. It don't be.
I still got
Mm-mm.
hope, I guess, but, it's just
Yeah.
not that strong
Yeah,
anymore.
but I heard Facebook be paying though, so I am trying to grow my that's one I wanna pay more attention to is Facebook because I heard they be paying, and I
Yeah.
have yet to be monetized, but that's the goal in the future, whatever, but I'm not putting that pressure on myself, I'm just doing what I love to do, and
Good.
who it resonates and how it lands, it's gonna land, but for you, when you do post though, like, it's always like it's the quirkiness, it's the you, it's the Tyreeism of it all. Like it's very on brand for you. And I love that it's your person. It's like I feel like when you post, people be like waiting for it.
Really?
Like that's how it feels. Yes, I promise you. I feel like when you post on like Instagram, it be like people be like, yeah, like I just feel like it because it's something that I feel like you're like a treasure that people appreciate and really like think you're funny, but then you dip away and then it's like, oh, but she's back. You know what I mean? And when you come back, I feel like it's like missed too. I feel like it's always on brand for you when you come back. It's like very much your content is yeah. It's cool. It's always funny. You're just naturally funny. I told you you had a thing about you to just natural. You don't have to try.
I so appreciate that. Thank you so much because
Yeah.
I don't know, there's times where I just don't know, we kind of
Yeah.
are have you done for me lately ass culture right now and I nothing bitch, nothing. I ain't done a got and when you come with that type of energy, it's
Mhm.
not sure if the love is still there because I decided to, step away, for
Yeah.
reasons, I guess you could say, just trying to focus.
Yeah.
And, I just didn't think it was the healthiest thing to continue acting like I was good when I wasn't.
Of
And,
course.
there have been people who I know for sure have judged that, like, judged the way that I decided to heal, even if it was just by stepping away, like, judging
Mm.
in a negative way, and so I really appreciate you saying that because, girl, I did not know, so
At least that's what I feel like. Now I can't speak for those who, they don't feel that way. But I feel like, including myself,
I appreciate it.
when you
I know there are
that,
people like that.
like I'm rooting for you, that's for sure. So that's all I
Thank
can say.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I logically know that there are other people there, I just was really shocked,
Yeah.
you
You be
know
focused on the ones it's like a thing that you just be like, I've heard, I think was it Kev on stage that said this not long ago, and he was talking about, like, when you do stand up, for instance, or anything that you do, you always it's so much easier. You can have a whole room full of people and everybody's laughing, and the 2 people in the front, they're not laughing. And for
Yeah,
some reason, you focus on those 2 people because you're like, you can't see that everybody else in the room is, like, having a great time, but you only
yeah,
focus on those 2 people, and it's easier to do that. Like, we focus on our brains will focus on the negative more than
mhm,
we give our time ourselves time and room to focus on the positive. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I think it's
yeah.
automatic. It's just the
That's
yeah.
definitely something that I had to be intentional about because I'm like, I don't like how this feels. Like, I don't like to
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Like, eventually it's a choice to focus on
Yeah.
one thing or other. A thought
Yeah.
is, a thought. But to
Mhm.
focus on purpose and to ruminate and and
Mhm.
knowing that it's not helpful because it's like I can't change this.
No.
It's just making me bitter,
Yeah.
and I think I had to even go through a little bitter phase just simply because
Mm.
that's what I was focused on. Because I was really surprised. I was like, "Oh, okay." You know?
Girl, who it resonates with, it's gonna resonate with, and the rest ain't anybody got time to be don't worry about it. Look.
I have learned, my blood pressure has taught me, "Girl, you just
Okay. Oh, just be like, okay, well, whatever. Go on your separate way then, that's fine.
mm,
Because I mean, you gotta do what's best for you.
yeah."
Okay, so you talked about your spirituality and your work before,
Mhm.
and what does that look like for you now? And how has your relationship with God evolved over time?
Wow. Well, I was when I first started stand-up, I was only doing, like, the churches, and I was, like, really clean and ugh.
Mm.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do all that because it was just like, that shit got old quick, let me just tell
Yeah,
you.
I
It
can
really
imagine.
did.
Yeah.
I think I inherited my, mother and her mother and their spirituality, you
Hmm.
know, their practices. And if it worked for them, perhaps I would still be practicing that way. But it didn't even work for them. And I was doing my absolute best to practice it. I really used to ask God for forgiveness every time I fornicated because I felt so bad. I was like, God, I really am trying. These niggas are not trying to get married. And I know that's the only way this shit is going to work. And, okay, I'm going to take a Esther year.
Oh my god.
365 days to walk with the Lord. And on
Oh my
366, I was
god.
face down, ass up. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I wasn't. But, but it was just like, this is not a healthy relationship to God. This is just
Right.
what I've been taught. And it's not even working. Like, it's not,
Mm.
if it was working, then I wouldn't have shit to talk about. But if
Right.
it's not working, then it's like I have to say something. I can't act like something is that it's not. And so I started just, I guess you could say, sampling other beliefs, which
Mm.
it sounds so because I used to be like such a Christian girly, that statement sounds so demonic, but so does yoga to the Christian girlies, it's so demonic.
Mhm.
But I just because when I said it, I was like, why did that sound so like you're sampling other beliefs? And it's like, yeah, because now I'm not
Yeah.
scared to,
Yeah.
potentially make God mad and then he cuss me out in the car or some shit like that. Like that's what I mean by it's not healthy, like
Yeah.
let first just have a belief of, what God is based off of my personal experience versus based off what somebody else's personal experiences is. Because if somebody
Absolutely.
tells me a story about somebody that they know and it's all their perspective and it's negative or it's this or it's very distinct, then I
Mhm.
might also expect to have that same type of relationship, even if it's dysfunctional or, unhealthy. I would expect that.
Right.
But if I can recall certain isolated not isolated, but, individual where it's like, "Oh, I know that was God. It had nothing to do with nobody else," and I just tally
Mhm.
up all those experiences, then it's like, "Okay, then that is my personal experience with God. It has nothing to do with anybody else's, and that should be prioritized over,
Mhm.
just what I was taught." It's just I was taught these things for so many years,
Right.
so that's why I, talk about intention so much, like, change has to be intentional damn near every, you know, every
Yeah. Every day.
thought, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be.
Mm,
Absolutely, and it's a lot of unlearning. I
yeah.
agree with that. I mean, because I think we were all raised to with beliefs, and kinda just automatically given to us
Mhm.
from our like you said, from our parents and, religious beliefs or whatever the case may be. And as you get older, I think it's normal to start to because you with life and your own experiences, you start to see things differently. And maybe it's not. Maybe that's not really like that. Maybe I should see it differently and so it's a lot of peeling back the layers to say and reading and studying and having beliefs for yourself that you have to constantly nurture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I agree. I understand. I mean, and it's nothing. I don't think is anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
With looking, like you said, studying and looking at other, maybe being open to saying, well, how do they do this and questioning God even. And you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I think it's perfectly normal and okay to do that as a Christian. I mean, and I still identify as a Christian, but I don't consider myself to be spiritual. I mean, no, I don't consider myself to be religious.
Same.
I consider myself to be very much spiritual,
Yeah.
and I've been open to learning and other religions and how they do and questioning God and questioning what's real and what's not. Is this
Yeah.
a sin? Is it not a sin?
Yeah.
Well, what am I supposed to believe this? Am I not supposed to believe that? Yeah, I mean, all the time. But one
Yeah.
thing I do know, and I don't question that God is real.
Yes.
Yeah,
Y
that's without a I know that. But everything else, yeah. Yeah, I
yeah.
have definitely done. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only way you can really grow, I think, is when you question,
Yeah.
the religious sectors, they
Mhm.
discourage questioning and they discourage. Because
Mhm.
even said I laughed when he said, "I'm not religious, I'm spiritual." I remember the first time I heard that statement, it was a youth minister mocking it, and he said,
Uh-huh.
"This person said I'm not religious, I'm spiritual." The devil is a spirit too. Yes, Lord. Yeah. And I was just thinking to myself, that's so judgmental, but that's
Yes, but that's how okay, let's just be real. That's how it is very judgmental, but that's them church folk, God forgive me, because it ain't about God. You know, well, I'm not even say God forgive me because it's man that it's the church is man, okay?
yeah,
And that's not necessarily a representation of God.
it's not.
And so and so the church folk and them Christian church folk, they do be judgmental. And that's the part that is so much judgment. And that's why a lot of people run away from the church for
Yeah.
that reason.
That's definitely why I left, and I mean, I'm
Yeah.
about other people, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was just something I'm like, I can't continue to I'm disrespecting myself and God by continuing to act like this is what it isn't, you know? So,
Yeah.
apparently,
Absolutely.
that was the same thing. I thought I was, like, the only one too, and so to find out that it's, way more people for the same reason, I'm like, that comforts me somehow, probably because it validated
Validation.
yeah,
Yeah.
that I'm
Yeah.
sure about. I'm like, "Am I tripping? Am I
Mhm.
just being sensitive or dramatic?" And it's like, "No, these
Mhm.
people are fucking crazy." You know? That them
Fucking
so
crazy.
that music be good, but then I something to eat. I gotta go. After that, I can't.
Praise and worship. That's it. That's all I
Let me tell you something about 90s gospel. Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, John P. Key, Yolanda Adams, the Clark sisters,
I'm a Mary girl too.
Mary, okay?
Yes.
Mary,
Yes. 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 Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
something about that time
Yeah.
where it's like I might talk about the church's proclivities, but that music is always gonna be good. Yeah, hey,
Okay.
I just
Always.
take that away from you.
No, never. Never,
Hey,
never, never.
yeah.
Okay, so being from South LA, how do
Mhm.
you think that the city has shaped your voice, and your perspective?
Well, it shaped my voice with this LA ass accent that sometimes I hate it on other people. When I hear a LA accent on somebody else, I'll be like, ugh. But then I also had so I'm working on the self-hatred because I don't wanna hate myself, and I'm not gonna, like,
No.
take a I was thinking about taking a dialect class. I really was.
No, I think it's so you, don't change that, don't change it. I
Yeah,
it's
and yeah, it's like and
yeah.
I mean, the
It's
biggest reason
signature. Yeah,
yeah, and I don't feel like it. I mean, when I saw, like, what it entailed, I said, I'm not doing that
yeah.
shit."
I'm out.
But I was like, I'd rather just learn how to accept myself, so now I'm gonna go deeper. So,
Okay.
LA is very, very superficial, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes you need that. Every cake needs frosting. Every hot wing needs some sort of sauce. There are people who are like,
Buffalo.
some people are like, "Nah, I could take my" but I mean, in theory, usually, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can understand and respect and appreciate the importance of superficiality. However,
Mhm.
you know, um, it also comes off as anti-Black, and I didn't realize this until I started traveling other places. And
Mm.
how I was being treated in certain places versus how I was raised to accept being treated. And I'm talking about
Mm.
by since I was a little girl, you know, like when I was a little girl and I was just telling somebody this, I wasn't classically cute, but I wasn't
Mhm.
like, I went through my little ugly phase. Um, there were 2 different types of mean girls and mean boys, and it was the, like,
Mhm.
real attractive, cute ones with a lot of money that would just, like, talk
Mhm.
shit about you, like, what back
Mm.
before "What are those?" It's like, Look at this nigga feelers," and, just, Who fat ass mama is that?" Like, it was just the word, that would
Yeah.
and then there were the mean girls and, mean boys that was
Mhm.
fucking mama and daddy probably on crack, show up to school dirty shirts from weeks prior, and they just will whoop your ass because you're really, really cute. And I remember,
Yeah.
like, there would be girls when I was, maybe in elementary school, there would be
Mhm.
girls who were not problematic, but they were cute. And a bully
Right.
just wanna whoop your ass would just target
Mm.
and say, "I wanna fight her because she thinks she all that." And I remember feeling like, "Well, thank God I'm not cute." They beating bitches' asses just for coming to school. Like, I was like, okay. I guess in this situation, I appreciate my mama neglecting me because I'm not a target in this situation." So, but that was the truth of it. Like, thinking you was all that could get your ass beat unless you was, like,
Wow.
popular or, whatever. But,
Right.
I was neither, especially, like, at that age. But,
Mhm.
I kinda wanted to just talk specifically about, like, the anti-Blackness as well. Like, that was, like, superficiality because you look like this or because you dress like that, and that's, I guess, normal amongst children, but it's also really, really pervasive amongst adults. Like, you can't sit with
Crazy.
us because, it's and that's very normalized in the church and stuff too, where it's
Mm.
just unkind. Like, you can be respectful and, still have your autonomy and still have your standards for the
Yeah.
type people that you wanna entertain, but to intentionally seek out people who are minding their
Yeah.
motherfucking business and try and, minimize them or judge or criticize or any of that, that's whack loser behavior. It's just not
Absolutely.
it's unkind. And, it's normalized, though. It really is because LA is
Yeah.
beautiful. It's like a girl who gets away with being a bitch because she's so beautiful. The weather
Right.
is beautiful all the
Yeah.
time, mostly,
Yeah.
the people, the most beautiful people from all over go to LA for, to be seen. So it's inundated
Mhm.
with just beauty and,
Mhm.
aesthetics. And I didn't
Mhm.
realize how much growing up in that affected me because, if you're not careful, you might mistake that type of thing for substance. And maybe for some people it
Mhm.
is, but for me, it wasn't. Like, I always felt unfulfilled. My first time going to New York, I got this feeling, and I was like, "They don't have this. They don't whatever this is, they do not have it back home." I mean, it was
Wow.
crazy hot, and it stank, and I got called a bitch
Mhm.
my
Yeah.
first 5 minutes from being there, but
Oh,
I
I
was like,
I believe it.
"I think I like this place." I was like, "I don't know. I feel it. It's
Yeah, 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 yeah.
real. It's real."
It's
Like,
one of my favorite cities. Yeah, New York is one of my favorite cities. Yeah.
yes, it's one of my favorite cities too.
Mhm.
It's very, very
Mhm.
extra. It smokes
Mhm.
cigarettes. It won't
Yeah,
quit.
yeah.
But, I love it. It's real. Like, that man called me a bitch to my face in LA. A man will call me a bitch and drive off, you
Right.
know, under the breath or something. So I had to I love my city. I love my hometown. And I had to be just like how I love myself, where I love, you know anything else, if I want it to work or if I want to have a healthy relationship with something, I have to be honest about the ways that there's problematic or that I just feel inadequate. Or and when I say inadequate, I mean that's not coming from me. Like I grew up there and was born into a situation where I was raised to believe that I was inadequate,
Mhm.
whether it was because of, it's South Central, it's the hood. So I'm
Right.
like, when I would have friends who lived in better neighborhoods, I automatically felt, I didn't have a father in my house. So, you
Mhm.
know, it was that type of situation. And so being around really, really, really pretty people and being in that situation, I always kind of felt,
Mhm.
like not good enough. And it was exhausting. And I had to take
Mm.
responsibility for, just keeping up that belief. But I also had to
Mhm.
be honest and go, no, this is something that, like, yes, I need to
Yeah.
take responsibility for how I'm showing up and what I
Yeah.
believe. But I also have to be honest about how normalized that type of behavior is and how it's okay for some people and, to move like that. And it ain't for me to judge,
Mhm.
for me to
Mhm.
just realize that's not my size, that's not my style.
Absolutely. I agree. That's a
Mhm.
that wow. Okay. Yeah. I can see how that can be, growing up and seeing aesthetically one way, but then growing up another way. I can see how that's and seeing around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I mean, and having not grown up, there, I can
Mhm.
still see what you're saying.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like I
Yeah.
grew up, I was not cute. So when people on Instagram be like,
I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe, but
okay, okay. So when I start and when I was like a teen, maybe not in high school. High school I was all right. But when I was younger, oh, I went through my little ugly girl phase, but also right in the beginning when I first started stand up. Like is
okay.
recent as that. Like I know I wasn't, no teenager when I started, but I was 21, 22 when I first started. The there were about 3 different people who suggested I get a nose job and a boob job and gave me their, like, surgeons information.
That's that LA stuff.
So and they were, like, genuinely
Yeah.
they were helpful in other aspects of career, like, genuinely, fruitful in my career, helpful.
Mm-mm.
So, like, that suggestion, it genuinely came from a place from then of help, like, "I'm really trying to help you, like, this is not what you're supposed to look like." Yeah, like that's the culture kinda sorta. When I was
Yeah.
B of A, I remember having my hair pretty much like this. It was down though, like kinky twist.
Mhm.
And this is my hair, like,
Mhm.
fake hair. It was cute. I was
Mhm.
hair center B of A and that's where the bougie blacks be. And they liked it. But my manager sent me home. He was like, I didn't hire you with your hair looking like that. Like you need to go home and fix it. And that was, yeah. I didn't even know that was a lawsuit, child.
Yeah.
But he's black.
Yeah.
Like, this is a black man. And,
Oh,
at the time, like, that was the status. That was just what it was. I grew up being
yeah.
taught early on that my hair is supposed to be straight. Like,
Mm.
I'm getting my hair done in the salon and they blow drying and talking about she got that contour. So, what is that
Wow.
programming me to believe about myself? You know
Yeah.
and, yeah, I got grown before I realized I'm not ugly, I'm black in LA. Like, I'm not unattractive.
Yes.
It's just these particular men are not interested in it, but after a while, if you're not careful, you could internalize that and make it a,
Yeah. Yeah.
unworthiness thing. So
Yeah. I can definitely see that. What's something about you that people don't fully understand from the outside?
I am I'm really sensitive and I am not aggressive. Like there because that's why I brought up the mean girl thing because, like, I'm grown as fuck,
Yeah.
right? And there are
Right.
other people who are also grown as fuck in theory, and
Mhm.
they'll assume that I'm mean, and it's like, why are you making this assumption? And
Mhm.
eventually it'll come down to, well, you're so pretty, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this is relatively, because also something about LA is everybody's pretty out there, so it doesn't. I don't. Well, not okay. I don't want to say everybody's pretty out there because some people don't wanna be pretty, and I don't wanna but it's not, it's like to make an assumption about me based off of just what you see. Like, there
Mhm.
was somebody who, I remember I had posted about just being really, really, really depressed. This
Mm,
shortly after I stopped going to church because I just couldn't fucking take it no more. Somebody had me all the way fucked up. And I just was like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. But then I was like, yes, I do. But I just don't know how to reconcile this, you know?
right. Mhm.
Appreciative of certain aspects of church community, but it was just beginning to get well, actually, no, it was beyond beginning to get toxic. It was just I couldn't keep ignoring it, but I also didn't know what to do. And I posted about just being sad and depressed about missing having just I used to go every Wednesday and Sunday, like just
Right.
that. And someone was like, why should anybody feel the gist of it was, why are you expecting anybody to feel sorry for somebody like you? Somebody
Mm,
like me? Like, what is the assumption?
right.
And, then it was a DM, and it was like, "Oh, my bad. I just assumed because you're such a beautiful girl that why would you be going through anything?" And it's like, that's not isolated. Like,
Yeah.
there's been times people have told me, before you told me your story about your mom or before you told me the story about, something terrible that I had to overcome, I just thought that
Mhm.
you hadn't been through anything and I wasn't gonna like you. And I understand that has more to do with other people, but it's like, bro, I really am a Care Bear, Richard Scary, Paddington Bear ass precious moments. Like I'm really, really soft and sweet.
Proudest moments.
So all of this, yeah. So I don't know what the understand why there's an assumption about who I am or what I'm about, especially when I'm
Yeah.
genuinely like I'm so kind that I don't want
Yeah.
advantage of anybody because I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me or anybody that I love. So
Yeah.
when there's this assumption that there's some kind of malignantness, and they have a right to assume certain things that just simply based on my hometown. They
Mm,
got a right because it's
yeah.
like you
Yeah.
based on certain things, but to assume that, like, I don't go through nothing,
Yeah.
it's like, are you
That's
kidding me?
crazy.
When I say, whew, I mean, it was a period of time where life was handing me my ass. She came up to me,
Mm.
said, "Ma'am, you had the ass, right?" And put it on the table. I said, "I didn't order this is my ass. No, for the lady, the ass,
Hilarious. My
not the ass."
God. Not the ass.
Yeah, it was so yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, the last thing I needed when life was handing me my ass was people judging and thinking, "Oh, but you this, oh, but you got that." It was like I literally had ended so many relationships based off of that because what it feels like is it feels like somebody's kicking me when I'm already down, right?
Yeah.
Feels like people were kicking me when I was already down, and for what? Because you think I'm doing better than like. Imagine you trying to
Yeah.
get out some water and you got people throwing shit in the,
Child.
and I'm like, bro.
Huh.
Like I said, I'm all about the peace. I don't even want revenge. I just want my peace,
Mhm.
my my peace, my
Yeah.
puppy, my pistachio ice
Oh.
cream, my really, really big penis having husband.
I know that's right. And the pistachio. Don't forget the pistachio ice cream. You got me on that right there. I was like, wait, wait. I love, let me tell you, pistachio is one of my favorite flavors.
One of my
They got
favorite flavors too.
muffins. Like they got some really, I used to, man, I used to work Wells Fargo. I used to work at the call center.
Mhm.
And they had this a cafeteria. And when I tell you, first of all, the best part about that job was the cafeteria and that food.
I'm sure.
Man, that that's the they let me girl, I tried so many. I had so many. They had Taco Tuesday. They had all that. I used to eat. Girl, I was eating good. And I tried falafel for the first time
Yeah.
there. They would just have all kind of just options. Like you talking about like the cruise? Oh, it was
Yeah.
like that at the cafeteria at the Wells Fargo call center.
I believe
Uh,
in
and when
yeah.
yes, and I tried these. They used to have these pistachio muffins, and
Mhm.
when I first saw them, I was like, "They're green,
Yeah.
right?" It
Mhm.
kind of threw me off a little bit before I knew what it was. And when I ate that thing, when I tell you, and that was over 10 years ago when I was there. What
Yeah.
was it? Hold on, wait, no, it won't. It wasn't over no 10 years ago, girl. I'm lying. Anyway, point. When was that? Anyway, point. Them pistachio muffins was life changing.
No, for real. I
Life
made some
changing.
pistachio
Yeah.
cupcakes. Just trying
Yeah.
just being, I was
Mhm.
my little baking phase back when I was
Mhm.
heavier and I had bought some pistachio flavoring.
Mm,
and put it in white cake and cream cheese
mm,
frosting, and let me tell you something. I
mm.
said that's why I said it was during my big back season, and I ate
Uh-huh.
3 last one of them cupcakes but 2. It
Yeah. Oh,
I said, "This is for tomorrow," and then I ate 'em at 3 in the morning.
okay.
And
That's
bro,
that's what I'm talking about. That is
oh,
what I'm talking about. Girl, pistachio. You got me with that. Now I'm thinking about them daggone pistachio muffins.
make you some. I mean, if you feel like it, that's
I'm
probably muffins.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could, but I'd probably go rather buy them than make them because I don't
Yeah,
feel like making them.
yeah. Like, I don't even know how to make muffins. I ain't never made no muffins with my
No,
Easy
I
Bake
know how
Oven.
to make muffins. I know how to make them, but not from scratch. Now, I don't know
Same,
how to make muffins from scratch. I'm
same.
not gonna sit up here and say that I know how to make them from scratch. But and
I
I've never made pistachio muffins. I've made blueberry muffins.
Yeah,
That's usually my go-to if I make muffins.
those are
But
classic.
yeah, you can't go wrong with a blueberry. But pistachio though, you got my heart thinking. I do know where I can get some from though, and I might have to look it up.
Yeah. Get your sweet treat.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I deserve, you know what I
Yeah, I'm
mean?
a sweet treat whisperer. Man, what you know what my spirit is telling me you want a honey bun warmed up 10 seconds and a bag of chips on the side. Barb
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, and I
to
do
add
have some
flavor.
barbecue chips. I do have some barbecue chips up in there too. It's funny you
Yeah,
said that. And I
yeah.
do, and you gotta have, you're right. The warming up, it's gotta be the right amount of seconds.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just right.
So it's a show that I
Mm.
made in my mind called The Biggest Back. And
Mhm.
I've only, like, told people and I, like, did a little video about it just because it's not a real show. It's just me creating, like, biggest back ass recipes. Like, what if
Uh-huh.
we
But that would be fun. Why don't you do something? You should do something with that. Why you say you did a video? You have done one though?
I've done a
You should
couple and
couple. Okay, okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
have my
You
fun.
should do it.
I mean, I might, but I was like, wow, honey bun warmed up with barbecue lays, crumpled on top. You
Yeah. Why not?
biggest back this episode. Okay, that's a big back
Why
snack.
not? Actually, I like the concept of that. Just like random stuff that nobody would maybe think. Because I do that often. It's funny you say that because people be talking about me because I will make some. Let me tell you, I am the whatever I got in the refrigerator right now, and I'm gonna make this and put this together, and it's about to work because I'm not going to the store. I'm that girl
And
all
that's
the time.
Yeah, that's where the biggest back originated. That's its villain origin story is, "I'm not
Okay.
ordering no extra. We gonna make it work with this syrup, and it's
Well,
fine."
okay. What we got? What we got? And we're gonna put this together, and it's gonna be the best meal that I've ever had in my whole life.
And Imma tell
Okay, so I got eggplant and cereal. That's all I got. Okay, we're gonna figure out a recipe with eggplant and cereal and how that's gonna come together.
shoot, Top Chef be having to figure shit out with a banana and a straight razor. Figure it out. Gosh.
Okay, right. Okay, look, shit, I'm the queen of that. I will put something together in a minute. Everybody, Erica, what are you eating? That don't even go together. But you know what? It was good, and it went together to me. Mind your
I had
business.
It was like, "What you doing?" I said, "Eating brunch." She was like, "Quesadillas and cereal is not brunch." I was like, It is with a mimosa."
Okay.
I definitely and it was perfectly fine.
Yes.
It was my sweet
Yes.
treat. My Sunday
I'm
sweet.
here for it. Girl, I'm here for it. So wait, so what are you what are you building right now? Like even if you're still forming it, what are you building toward right now?
So I grew up on cartoons like damn near all of us, you know what I mean? Maybe
Mhm.
boomers. I don't know if the boomers watch cartoons when they were little.
Uh-huh.
We definitely watched cartoons. So I've always been, you know, really, really into The Simpsons and like I said, Pepper Ann and Recess and Our Real Monsters and Rugrats, like, those types of shows.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
I worked on an animation did voice too. So even though I
Mhm.
can't actually see the technical way because it is quite a long process. So, there was
Mhm.
no way for me to see the entire process of production.
Mhm.
But I know writing for animation, it's way different because you can just do more. You can just do more. You know what I mean? For animation. And
Yeah.
appreciated that freedom. And then the voices, I didn't have no experience, but I was able to do understudy for not understudy, but scratch for Wanda Sykes
Mhm.
on the show. And it's basically like a placement. So I would sound
Mhm.
like her on the show
Mhm.
just placement, and that's how I got some of my rhythm, some, experience, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed how I could express myself in a way that was, audible as opposed to just visual. Not that because this me doing this is an example of me being intentional about being seen and heard again. Because I was in my little hermit mode for a
Yeah.
very long time, and relearning how to be seen and heard again is a lot, but I definitely appreciated just being heard and in a creative
Mhm.
way and, using my instrument. That's such a LA ass thing to say. Using my instrument, but I really was. I was using my
Yeah,
instrument in the record,
yeah.
and using the animation type of creativity.
Mhm.
It can be dramatic and creative, but this was animation. And so I would love to just work more in animation
Yeah.
just simply because it's genuine to me. I grew up watching it and it grew up watching me. We like sisters,
Yeah.
our sons, but I
I
want
love it.
learn a little bit more about just the process. And now we have, and it's such a dirty word. AI is such a dirty word, but we have it. And
Yeah.
I am curious about how much I can utilize it. I don't use it at all. Like I don't even have Chat GPT on my phone. I
Oh, I
don't
do. I be using it, but I try to still use my brain because you
yeah,
can become so reliant on it, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I
But I
was
do use it as an assistant every now and again.
the reason why and that's that late bloomer stuff, because I was so late. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be a fad. I thought it was gonna be like Periscope or Vine, like
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
around. So that's why I didn't download it. But I understand like it's probably, it's like a stepmother. It's like, okay, this bitch is on the couch with her shoes off. I think I should probably go say hi at the very least.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I understand that it has its risks at the same time it has its benefits. And so I'm really just interested
Mhm.
in seeing how it can be beneficial without, any liabilities for, maybe a different type of animation. I really, really
Yeah.
am a huge fan of this animation on Netflix called Intergalactic. It's with Kid Cudi and
Yep.
Jessica Jones. And it's
Mhm.
perfect.
It
And
is.
if you watch it and you know me, or if you know my work, you've seen Dirty Thirties, you know my black ass will love some shit like that. You fucking
Yep, yep.
it
Yeah.
screams fucking Macaulay Culkin is in it, like, uh,
Yes.
it's disgustingly good. I hate
Yes.
you know how you said, like, a cliffhanger, so it's over? That's how I feel about Intergalactic, like, it was a limited series,
Yeah.
and that sucks.
Yeah. It does.
You've seen it?
Yeah. Yes, I love it.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, I
I
love it.
remember when I saw it when it came out, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Absolutely, this is amazing."
Yeah, it's perfect.
Amazing. It was perfect work. Yeah, it really was. I mean,
Mhm.
it was just it was the colors, I mean, how I don't know much about animation and all the things that go into it either, but when I say that it was like it was vibrant. It was the vibrancy. It kind of called you. Like you didn't have a choice but to like watch it. When you saw it, you were like, this is amazing. It was
Yeah.
fun. It was the storyline. I mean, it captured you and it
Yeah.
was amazing. So yeah, I can see why you would love that as well. Like,
Yeah. Like that
yeah,
that's
I can definitely see it.
and
Yeah.
it's new because I don't usually watch a lot of new stuff, just because
Yeah.
the
When did that come
sensitivity.
out? It
I mean,
came out back in 2021 or something. Oh,
yeah,
right? Didn't it
but
come
I
out back in
watched
like
it when it
2021,
came out.
2022?
Yeah, it came out
Yeah, I
around.
did too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that was new for me. Like it used to take
Oh,
me for to watch like stuff. You know what I mean? Like I will wait.
really?
Yeah, because I guess that's the thing that it's like I guess that doesn't readily appear. Especially I get it. Like I used to do stand up, so why am I acting so shy and distant now? I guess it was the trauma. Like now I'm just like now recovering and trying to re-enter. You know what I mean?
Into the world?
Yeah,
Re-enter?
like is it what the fuck is
Oh,
this? Like, that's
it's
kinda what it is,
light-eyed.
but yeah, like like,
That's so funny.
if it's too many claws on it at the same time, it's like I
Mhm.
I have a tendency to wait until it's, the fanfare is over to watch.
Yeah.
I watched that when it first came out too, and
Yeah.
well, I'm
Mm.
proud of myself. I loved it because I usually watch the same things, and I just wanna shout out Soul Food because we was talking about I don't know if we talked about that when we were talking about, Living Single and Khadijah.
Yeah, you did mention Showtime.
Okay, yeah,
And so forth, yeah.
that, like, I just wanted to give it its props because yeah, I did, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Showtime.
Uh-huh. Because you were talking about you was rich if you had that at that time, which you really were.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
could
yeah, yeah,
watch
yeah.
that, that's how yeah.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
Showtime, like, at your house? Who
At
stole
your
you?
house?
Who who baby daddy, who auntie baby daddy hooked up the cable to get you? Because I know you're not paying.
Exactly. No, that's the real. That's exactly the way it was. Okay, so what would you say to someone who feels like they're in between versions of themselves?
Ooh. You mean what would I say to me right now? I would be like, "Girl, I don't know. Wait, you want something to eat? You need to lay down? You
Want a
know,
pistachio muffin?
you need some water." Like, yeah, like, because in the in between is so weird, and can't
Yeah.
nobody I mean, you can have support, I'm realizing, but
Mhm.
there's nobody who has my exact same set of issues. You know what I mean? There's nobody who is
Mm-mm.
dealing with my exact same nervous system. There's
Mm-mm.
nobody, and I wish there was, like, I wish I had a twin that, like, we could heal through the exact same, whatever's together, with each other,
I
but
be your twin girl. I be
girl,
your twin girl. Cause
oh,
I feel
thank
like I'm
these
I'm your
wounds is
twin.
deep. These wounds is deep. Imma show 'em 'cause, this is me just practicing, like, expressing myself, learning how to express myself in a different way. Like, I know I can't talk about certain things live, like stand up, but I
Mhm.
can't talk about certain things in healthy, comfortable for me environments and settings. And this is one of
Mhm.
them, 'cause, I have a betrayal wound. Like, to be quite
Right.
honest, that's probably why I don't have ChatGPT. That's why I said I'll be open to learning about how AI can assist in animation just so that it won't be so long, like lengthy production wise, if there's a way. But I don't trust these niggas, including Chat GPT,
I get
because
it.
I'm healing
I do.
a betrayal wound. And I think we kind of all are, like, we all are kind of looking up, realizing I think we've been, but mine was with my mother. Like,
Yeah.
the other one is kind of on a global scale. Like, my mother's was that's the most personal relationship you can ever have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's, you're born into it. It's absolutely just something that is, and can think about a butterfly that's, such a quintessential example of the in-between phases. And a lot of people
Mhm.
say, I don't know this for sure, but they say that the time spent in the cocoon, if it's the butterfly happens to come out prematurely, then it could die, you know?
Mhm.
So that's why it's important to just trust the process. And it's difficult to trust a process that you have never seen before. Imagine, and I've used this example before because I'm Black. Imagine the first time you seen a sew in weave process. You,
Mhm. Right.
why, especially after the braid foundation and Eve sewing on these
Mhm.
hair and it's all over the place. And it's like, but then at the end, when the part is right here, and then that's the process. Like, that's how you get there. But during the
Mhm.
process, if you don't know, you might run out the salon. Cause what the fuck is that bitch doing to me? She braided me down. She got a needle. I wanted a weave. And it's like, yeah, but if you don't understand the process, and like, that's kind of sort of where I am. Like, I know what I'm experiencing is probably necessary because there's nothing that I lost ever that
Mhm.
to go. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's very uncomfortable. So I guess what I would tell somebody who is in between phases, if you are uncomfortable, you're not crazy. You're not tripping. This shit hurts. This shit is whack. It's trash. It wasn't your fault. But if you have sense enough to take responsibility to change your life, then you deserve a certain level of respect for yourself,
Mhm.
because that's a respectable choice to take responsibility for your life and make changes to better it, even if it means being in this uncomfortable in between space. And I think a lot of
Mhm.
it ain't just, I think it's a
Yeah.
lot of this that's in this weird in between.
I've That's why I said I be your twin. I be your twin.
Yeah.
That's why I said that. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's not just you, obviously, even if you feel like it's not, even if you feel like it is just you, because there was plenty of years where I felt like that shit was just happening to me. Then a list came out,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh," and what's crazy is nobody cared when it happened to me, and that crushed me. That's what really did it, not what
Mm.
happened or how my mother handled it. It was
Right.
how little empathy I got, and how
Mm.
much criticism I got. And I'm like, y'all do know I was a child when this thing happened, But then when the other stuff happened, like, globally, and I see
Mhm.
society reacting the exact same way, my relatives and people from, my church and my hometown community, they reacted the
Mhm.
same way. They didn't care either.
Mm.
It's like society
Terrible.
didn't care about them girls. My community didn't care about me. And it's like, don't take it personal. Like
Right.
it was never, you weren't unworthy. That's just how some people are. And it's shocking because it's
Yeah.
like, gosh, y'all are adults. Like I used to look up to y'all. Like y'all really are, moving like this. Like I thought y'all loved us. You know
Mm.
what I mean? We're your children's generation. And
Mm.
it's being clarified, it seems like daily, how little, we are loved unless we're being useful. And
Right.
that's another reason why I didn't really have the desire to perform anymore. I really just wanted to express creatively.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it felt
I
like
get it.
I was performing for love and I didn't like that.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Mm. Wow. Okay, girl. Well,
Yeah,
so
we could end it off on something high if you got a cute little one that's just
oh, no, 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 no,
'cause
it's
that was so Scorpio, what I did at the end. He
but
was like, "Yeah," and I'm like,
but
"Wait, what?"
no, but as a Scorpio
I was like, "I don't mean to be so solemn, Erica. I did not mean to be that goddamn solemn. Can you turn
no,
it
it's good.
put it on Living It Up by Ja Rule and Bobby Brown. Give me that vibe."
What you I get it. That's what we do. We be going, we get deep. We get deep. We're deep. And we like those. I mean, for me, I personally like those. I don't like small talk. Like I'm
Same.
not a small talk girl. I'm very much like, how can I dig in your soul and you
Mhm.
dig in mine and we dig into each other or whatever the case. Like I like to the deep and even if it get dark, let it get dark.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and it
Yeah.
gets dark often. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. And
I
yeah, because I'm like, it's not dark for dark's sake. And I guess because I've learned
yeah,
how to I've been it felt like I was in the dark for so long, I had to no
yeah,
choice to learn how to see my way through. And I didn't
yeah,
die. Darkness
yeah,
doesn't actually automatically equal death, but sometimes it can
yeah,
feel like so it's another little that's what I would say to somebody who, felt like in the in between, like darkness and
mm,
deep depth and even
yeah.
talk about, like, on 420 because I'm a 420 girly, I'm from the West, and, we talked about Atlantis and Lumeria, and I had never half that shit I didn't really know about, but that's what the conversation was, so I was like, "Yeah, yeah," and by
Yeah.
context, I'm like, "Okay, so this is an underwater world, okay, yeah," and then they was talking
Uh-huh.
about dolphins, I was like, "What? They are mammals." So was they walking a motherfucker at one point? You know what I mean? Like, Wh else?
Hilarious.
What else? What is the weird book? Like, what
Mhm.
else weird can we talk about? Like, it felt good to just be weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have weird conversation and deep/weird
Mhm.
conversation.
Mhm.
Really appreciated that. But sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm like, that was a private conversation, and it's like, I be feeling like I don't know if the world is ready for my weird.
Girl, well, shit, well, in that case, I mean, I'm weird too, so, we just be weird.
Yeah,
It is what it is. I know
I
I
hate
be weird,
that.
and I'm quirky. One thing about me, I know I'm a weird, I'm quirky about me, and if you don't like that, like people that whether you meet me in person or whether it's through the internet or whatever it is, if you don't like that or if you feel away, as like I said, I have learned to be more unapologetic, I'm sorry, and who I am and the way I show up. And if you don't like that, then I really don't know what to tell you. Like,
Yeah,
and I've kind of always been that way, especially more in person. I've been more on the internet. I'm kind of like more like, okay, how do I want to show up trying to figure that out and define what that is?
yeah,
But at the same time, I'm like, the only person I know how to be is me. And
yeah,
so if that's weird, if that is whatever you want to define it, then guess what? It's going to be what it is. And who it's for, it'll be for. And who it's not for, then you just go. Like, you
yeah,
ain't got to be here.
yeah.
And that's really the way I feel,
They should teach that to
genuinely.
second graders. Real talk. Like, it's okay
Yeah,
to not like people. It's not okay to be mean and disrespectful and rude and unkind. But it is
absolutely.
okay to even be unliked. But it's not okay to try
Yeah.
to force yourself to be something else to be liked. Like, I think
Yes.
that as children, because that I learned, oh, I have to, if I'm like this, then I'm liked. I learned in my, family growing up, oh, as
Yeah.
long show up like this, then that's when I get love. And you can torture yourself long enough
Mm,
are just asking for resentment, and then
mm,
you end up in this situation, you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Or crashing out at a Popeyes drive-through on
Oh,
Rodeo.
no.
I'm kidding. Just made that up. There's no on Rodeo.
Like, well, I don't know. It might be. I was like, it don't sound like it would be one on Rodeo though. That don't fit the that doesn't fit the aesthetic. But I was like, maybe she knows something I don't know. I
I
mean,
think there's one on Rodeo, but they call it Obama now. So, but I can't remember. I think I'm getting it mixed up with a Wendy's. But yeah, like if just eventually, if you contort yourself or, but if that's all you've been doing
yeah.
to need met for community,
Hmm.
and you don't know nothing else. But if you are just taught that off rip, then you can just
Yeah.
ways to just be yourself and, you know,
Yeah.
very unapologetic will be, something you grow up with versus something that you
Yeah.
learn, at my age, at our
Hmm.
age.
No. Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've grown more to be unapologetic. I've never really, I don't think that I've ever really 100% cared what people, I was never one of those people that really cared what people thought about me.
Mhm.
Anyway, I really I've never really did, but the older I get, it's more like I don't really care. Like if I show up, you saw me today and then in couple of and I show up with the exact same thing. Yeah, I got the exact same thing on I had on yesterday. You just saw me. I know, and I don't care. I'm gonna
Yeah.
wear this because that's what I felt like putting on and it's not dirty. It's clean.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's my business because that's what I want to do. Like some people care about even the smallest things like that. Like, oh, I don't want to show up. I can't go and be back because I just saw them and they're going to see me with the exact same thing I just had on. Like some people care about even something as small as that. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, I don't care. This is what I look. If it don't match, guess what? It don't match.
Yeah. I
I don't
I had
care.
I had to
You
unlearn
know?
too that same thing, like,
Yes,
in real time, like, like, "Wait,
girl.
wait," and then you start making your little changes, like, "Wait, why am I?" But, yeah, I was taught how to do that, and I had to think, like, "Where did this even come from?" Maybe our ancestors needed to assimilate to survive, you know?
Yeah,
I have empathy for that, I understand that, I guess it's just like,
absolutely.
"Okay, I think we done surviving," you
That's
know?
it. Because that's too much mental. It's too much. It's too much. The weight of the world is enough. And
Mhm.
for me to add that type of pressure, anything that's just I can't say the word. Help me, frivolous.
Privilege.
Frivolous. I struggle with
Yes.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
struggle with that. Yeah, that word. But anyway, I know the word, but I was like, it's not gonna come out right. But for me to
I got
for
you.
that's not important. I got other things to be. There's bigger fish to fry. Okay,
Yeah,
that's the point.
yeah, same.
Okay, so Lil Kev, girl, you've been
Mhm,
promoting that and you've been talking about that because you wrote on that and voice, right? You did
mhm.
both? Okay.
Yeah.
So how was that experience like in that space and working on that? Talking about
So,
animation.
yeah, man, animation it's like for me, because I grew up with
Mhm.
it, it's like a little girl's dream come true.
Okay.
Because I grew up with the whole, like, cartoon, animation domination time,
Mhm.
it was like a little girl and a little teenager and a grown woman's dream come true. Because 'cause I've been watching cartoons this entire time.
Mhm.
So to be able to create from that space, it was like I was inside of a Play-Doh fun factory, like, you get to
Mm.
there's there's parameters, of course,
Right.
but, like, they can do anything made it. So,
Yeah.
bubble like this and just the ability to be creative in a way that defies physics because
Yeah.
they're real people, but still be able to convey, a joke.
Mhm.
I had never done that before. I'd only done like live action stuff, whether it be sketch or improv or live stand up or, it's all been the same like live action stuff. So
Mhm.
it was really, really fun. It was a lot of fun, but
I
also
love that.
because I grew up watching it, like I had a different type of relationship with the rhythm of it, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so cool. A little Kev, check it out on what Paramount Plus, right? Now?
Yes, look up on Paramount
Mhm.
Plus and BT.
Mhm. Yep. Awesome. So is B cuz B is BT Plus going under? Are they cuz they merge, right? Are they kind of
Yeah, they
merging?
merged,
Is that
but,
the
um,
Mhm.
I feel like if you have BET Plus, you can watch it.
Mhm.
There are some people who
Okay.
don't. they have Paramount. So it's like,
Okay.
don't think that just because it's on Paramount that you can't watch it on the BET Plus too, because I
On the
believe you can watch
BET
it on
Plus.
the Yes.
Okay, okay,
I
on the
believe
BET Plus. I love the way you
Yeah,
said that.
yeah, I think it's
Okay,
still
so
available there.
okay, cool. All right, cool. So now let's get to the wind down. Okay, we're gonna get to the rapid fire.
Okay,
And then I'm gonna circle back to where can the people find you. Okay, we got it's called I'm playing with the name, but I guess we're gonna go with 10 to go. Okay, like it's like my top 10 or whatever, rapid fire. Okay.
okay.
So morning person or night person?
Night person.
Okay. City life or stay in the house vibe? Love that. Yes.
I'm looking at me like, "What you know what you've been through? You know what you've been through, peace,
Amen. Okay. Texting or calling?
calling from the
Dang.
1900s.
Soft life or hustle mode?
Soft life
All day. Okay.
all
Your
day.
comfort show or trying something new?
My comfort show,
Being known or being understood?
being understood,
Pray about it or talk about it?
pray about it,
Amen. Plan it or go with the flow?
plan it.
Sometimes I'll be in the middle of both.
I'm a nerd. You see the glasses? I got
Yeah, yeah.
the calculations, man. Gotta do all the things. Yeah, I gotta get
I
my teeth,
love it. I love it.
test tubes.
Plan it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so pancakes, French toast, or waffles, and you can only pick one.
Waffles.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Long as I ain't
Why
got
waffles?
as long as I ain't
As long
gotta
as you ain't
make
gotta make.
but yeah, like, yes, in a waffle iron, I know Eggos. In a
Yeah, yeah,
waffle
yeah. Yes.
I
Now
love a
I have made them
classic
in a
waffle.
waffle iron. I love it too. Yes, in a waffle iron. Yes. Yeah, I need to. That's something I don't have. I have. Well, my mom has my family. They have a waffle iron. I at their house, at my parents' house, but
Yeah.
I don't have one of my own, and I don't know why I never got a waffle iron
Because it's a
because a good
lot.
waffle is so good. It is a lot,
It's
but
a
I
lot.
have definitely done it. I've definitely done it when I lived at home. Oh yeah, I used to. I used to make them waffles. We used to get up in the morning and make get the waffle iron out and make our little. Well, the one thing about my dad, oh yeah, he loves breakfast. Saturday morning, weekend breakfast. He was famous. We were having breakfast and yeah, and waffles sometimes was on the menu.
Yeah.
And yeah, and yeah,
Waffles remind me of Saturday mornings. Like, that's why I was like, "Let me pick
it's
between waffles." Pancakes is Monday. Pancakes is
yeah.
Monday. French toast is very Friday, Thursday.
Hmm,
But waffles, that's Saturday because you got the time. But yeah, a waffle
that's
iron,
kind of true.
it's like a big ass briefcase. I have
It
done
really is.
a hotel waffle iron where there's just like a little, flippity
Yeah, that's
flip.
what I said. We had the circle one. We had the circle waffle iron. It was like
The
a
one
circle
that
one, and you
you
lift it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, up. Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a contraption. I
like
don't know if
Waffle
I'm
House.
ready for
Yeah,
a contraption because you gotta clean it and all
it
that
was a lot. It was
Yeah,
a lot.
maybe.
Um,
We talking about it a
but
lot.
French toast reminds me of Saturday. Well, at least as a kid. For like, if it was just like a regular Saturday morning before everybody else got up, I would turn on cartoons.
Mhm.
My mama was usually up before everybody else. My dad, everybody else be still asleep, and should get up and fix me some French toast, which was that's the first fun fact. That's the first thing I ever learned how to cook was French toast.
Oh,
First thing I
yeah.
ever learned to cook. Yep, because
Yeah,
it's
'cause
easy. And
yeah,
she
'cause
taught me that. She taught me and so French toast is still biasly. I still love French toast before pancakes and waffles. I would pick French toast all day. French toast is just, but I love all three because I like
I'm
bread.
a
I'm a bread eater. I'm a bread eater.
I'm a breakfast eater too, like, I love breakfast.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't know about pancakes because they just if you dress them up, like I was making white chocolate chip
Hmm.
pancakes, now that was something
Hmm.
to see. But French toast, I be hit and miss when I make it because sometimes the egg
Mm.
yeah, but if somebody else cheesecake
What you
back
mean if you don't beat it enough? If you don't beat the egg enough, do you beat it
no,
up enough?
so I'll beat the egg, put the bread, flippity flop, and then once
Uh
it's on
huh.
the skillet, something will happen sometimes to the egg. It might get stuck to the pan, and I put the butter on, but it's still it's never I don't never really get a good looking French.
Mm.
It might taste good, sure, but I like a cheesecake
That's
back.
all that really matter. That's all that
Oh
matter.
yeah,
I don't care. Look, girl, let me tell you how I cook. I cook so much like if it long as it's gonna feed your stomach and it's gonna taste good and
yeah,
it's gonna be good. but it might not look the best all the time.
Yeah, like my
That's
French
my style of
toast,
cooking.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would it would have, like, tears in it and
It's
it would
okay.
and I would still eat it, but when I would order it from places, it would that
Yeah.
I love French toast when it's ordered from places.
Yeah, yeah,
Burger
yeah,
King back
yeah.
in the day had, French toast sticks, and
Yes, they did.
oh my
My
god,
god.
them
They
French
don't have
toast
those no
sticks.
more?
Well, I'm
They
not
didn't
sure, I
have 'em?
haven't been in a
I
minute.
haven't been in years either, yeah.
Yeah, but I know Cheesecake Factory has brioche, crème brûlée, French toast. Now that's carte branch, so
I've
that
never been to never had that at Cheesecake Factory.
yeah, it's
I never
only
had that.
that's probably why. Secret not a
Wow.
secret menu, but it's the brunch menu, which is only from
Ooh,
time, but it's a
but that
very
sounds amazing.
it's so
I'm a
good.
sucker for anything that has bread. Waffles, one thing that waffles, in case the French toast have in common, bread. It's a
Yeah,
bread. I like pastries, I like bread.
mhm,
So I guess that goes back to breakfast. I guess it is like a breakfast thing. Like I like that type of food.
yeah,
And so I'm a sucker for it any time of day. I'll eat it in the middle of the night. I eat it any time of the day.
oh,
It don't
yeah,
matter.
same. French toast, waffles, those are sweet treats.
Yes. I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, you would think I should be bigger, but I'm not.
Girl, because that's what did it for me, like, I had to go to the doctor because I didn't know what it was. I had to they were like, "It's the white processed flour. How much are you eating a day?" And this was during
Oh
quarantine,
my
and my mind cut back to the last time I made a whole peach cobbler just 'cause I could, free will, and never
oh
ever
my
put it in a
god.
bowl, just kept
Eating it out the
yeah, just as days went by, I think I'll take it's just there, like, "Hey." It
I
was like
love it.
yeah,
Oh my god. Oh my
very
god.
healthy
Okay.
relationship
Hilarious.
at the time.
That is hilarious.
But yeah, I've learned how to balance it, so it's all good.
Yeah, you got to, girl. A little balance. Everything in moderation. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to get you. I'm gonna get you out of here. Is where can the people find you?
You can find
Where
me
can and
at
what's next for you? And what's next for you? What's next for you? And where can the people find you?
what's next for me, honestly, with the state of the world, I gotta be real. I really don't know. Hopefully peace and love, hair grease, all that stuff, a raise in love and vibration. Let me
Hmm,
try it
hmm,
again. I am not sure. Like, I really don't know what's next. You can find me at Tyree
hmm.
Elaine, TyreeEelaine, on pretty much all the social media sites. TikTok, I don't be on the TikTok like that because I thought it wasn't gonna make it. I thought it was gonna be like periscoping them. I thought it wasn't gonna make it. So I think the TikTok
I
is
don't do TikTok
Tyree
either.
Elaine, maybe 123, or maybe Tyree Elaine TikTok 123. Either way,
Hmm.
I might put it on my IG. You let me know when this airs, and I'll like
Of
put
course.
TikTok name on my IG. I actually have a website, TyreeElaine.com. I forgot about it, but GoDaddy reminded me when it took $200 out of my checking account. So I'm going to be using the website. I'm going to be using
Okay.
something. I don't know. Right now, it says like a cute little under construction thing on the website
Uh-huh.
because I knew I would not be. That was when I was deep in my hermit mode season.
Uh-huh.
But, you can find me there. I believe you can, enter into the contact if you want to connect. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now.
I love that. Yes. Well, thank you, girl, for coming
Thank
on
you.
the podcast. This
Thank
was
you for having
amazing. Absolutely. Thanks for watching, guys.